Have you ever thought of preparing for a health emergency? It's the church bell. Yes, the church. Hi, welcome. It's me again, Alice. Today I'm taking a short walk outside my home. You can see that this is a typical Belgium winter morning. Look how grey it is. But anyway, I still needed some fresh air, so I came out for a short walk. And today I would like to share with you personal experience dealing with a recent health emergency. It happened last month, one day after dinner. It was, in fact, my own dinner. I prepared dinner at home, but something went wrong with that food, I suppose. I became very sick right after dinner, about an hour after dinner. I was so sick that I was throwing up, basically vomiting continuously for several hours. I was vomiting until eventually I ended up in an ambulance that brought me to the hospital around midnight. Well, of course, it's not a pleasant experience to end up in an ambulance. But I couldn't walk down the stairs from my apartment, and my husband had to call for the ambulance to help me get down the stairs. Secondly is that the vomiting just didn't stop. Even on the way in the ambulance, I was still throwing up. I was given a sick bag to hold while laying on the stretcher ambulance. And I was still continuously throwing up. But the main thing is, upon arrival at the hospital, while waiting for being assigned to a room at the emergency department, the nurses were bothering me with all kinds of questions. They were asking me what medications you are taking, what have you eaten, how do you feel, and I mean, I would say, yeah, it was impossible for me to speak while I was actually vomiting. You know how it feels? It's at the wrong time, at the wrong moment. I mean, even though I have those answers, but I just wasn't able to talk. And all these things happened before my husband arrived at the hospital, of course. And in between the vomiting, I managed to say a few words and answered a few simple questions. But that was it. And it wasn't very smooth because it's the usual hospital that I was going for my other health issues for checkup anyway. So they probably managed to find my medical record and do something, but it wasn't very clear. The doctor on duty, I would say, was not very convincing with how he's going to deal with my situation. He just said that they took some blood and they will check. So for the couple of hours when I was there, what I received at the emergency room was just infusion. And the medication they told me was just Dafalgan, which is paracetamol. And something else that they say is to calm down my stomach. But the name of the medication was not made known to us. No idea. At that time, the doctor came to tell that there was nothing wrong with my blood and that I could be discharged. I should go home and rest. That was it. Well, okay, fine, of course, it's more comfortable to be at home. But while I was leaving the hospital, I was still holding the sick bag and continuously throwing up. I was throwing up, basically vomiting along the way as I proceed to the exit of the hospital. The nurses saw me, but no one came to help, and I was just supposed to go home. During the day, even when I was at home, I continuously vomit. It was, I think by then I was already throwing up for 10 hours. And my husband had to call my GP and ask what should I do. My GP couldn't do anything because she didn't receive any information yet from the hospital. No report yet was available for her to see what has gone wrong and what was done during the night. All she could do is to give me a prescription for another kind of medication to stop activity in my stomach, to stop the vomiting. And I took 2 of those in a period of 4 hours. Luckily, it got better, started to become more under control. That was my very unpleasant experience, and it lasted for about 3 days. So after that incident, I felt that it is very important that I make sure that I am prepared just in case something like this were to happen again. I remember I have read something from the Lupus Foundation of America some time ago about how to be prepared for medical or health emergency. So I went to look it up and I found it back. So I adapted it to my own needs. And I suppose everyone will have their own requirements or necessary information to be included on that list. I made it my own version, and here I will share it with you, what I have prepared. And of course, there is quite a bit of work to get all the information together into one such document. But I think it is really worth the effort to do something like this. I'm glad that I took the effort to put all the information together, and now I have a clear overview of my current health condition. By the way, this is only a one-time effort, a big effort to put all the information together, while we can have a very clear overview of our health condition. Of course, this is more relevant for people who are managing a certain health condition like myself, but I feel it is also important for everyone to keep such a document, especially to take it with you everywhere you go, even if it's a short list of items that are critical in case of emergencies, especially when we are traveling or when we are not able to speak and answer the relevant questions. Then we will have everything summarized in the document that we can give it to them. So it is kind of a good practice for everyone to make a health summary, an overview of their current health condition. Although I have mentioned that it is a one-time effort, but do make sure to remember to keep it up to date. It has to be a live document, it's a living document. It has to come with us, accompany us for the rest of our lives. It's also a living document. It should capture our latest health information to be relevant for ourselves in times of emergency. So I hope this video makes sense to you and that you have found it useful. I have made this template also available for you to download. I will put a link in the description section below. You can download it and adapt it to your own needs if necessary. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye bye.